Okay, so we're now ready to apply the bonder. So this is what will adhere your product to the nail. So if you're doing an infill like myself, you only need to apply this where there is no product, so onto the natural nail. So I tend to apply it near the cuticle, the side walls, and then slightly overlap that line. Okay, you don't want loads of product. The idea is this layer is almost like the sticky layer that will adhere the next product to it. So as you can see here, where this one had lifted, I've had to come up here as well because that's natural nail. Okay guys, so again, if you're doing your own, you need to be pulling that skin back, so you're making sure you're coming right up underneath that cuticle but not touching the skin. Always come up those side walls, because where you filed you will have removed the product, and obviously you don't want any lift or any surface breakdown there. And these brushes are great because they fit the curvature of the cuticle nicely. So you can get right up to that cuticle without actually touching the skin. Okay, so I've applied that over all of those, and then that needs to go in. Now you need to be making sure that you are curing with the lamp that these products are designed to work with. Okay, and you need to come in with button 1, and that will flash cure, as you can see here, for 10 seconds. Now you then need to choose between whether you're going to use the builder gel or the shaper. Okay, so let me explain the difference between the two. So you have the shaper gel, which you can see there, it's relatively thick, and then you have the builder gel, which is even thicker in consistency. Okay, now the shaper is designed to literally plump out the nail slightly. So if you've got a client that has got ridged nails, naturally they have like vertical ridges, obviously providing that it's not down to ill health or anything, and it is just age related, and there's nothing more sort of serious going on, you can apply it to help smooth out the surface of the nail. So again, you only need to be floating a thin layer over the top. There's no sort of massive amounts of structure or apex that you're building. You are literally just making that nail a nicer appearance in shape, and like the nail itself is nice and smooth. Okay, if you have already done a set of nails, so like these are all my natural nails, as you can see. Again, I have previously had builder on when they were shorter, or I've broken one and I've built it up. If there is builder already on and you're infilling it, you can still come in with your shaper. You don't have to reapply the builder gel. You can come back in with your shaper just to sort of neaten it up. Okay, the builder gel is thicker in viscosity, and it is a little bit of a harder product. So you would use the builder gel if you wanted to create an apex. So if somebody had got particularly flat nails and you wanted to build it a little bit higher, you would come in with your builder gel to build a little bit more of an apex. If the nail was short and you were giving them a bit of a free edge, so say for example they'd broken one nail, or you were giving them a full set, you could pop a form underneath and you would then build that up. Or if they were having a full set, as long as they weren't massively long, you could put a tip on and build them up with the builder gel. And again, if they've got a split, you would then come in obviously with your shaper and then come over with your builder. So it really does depend what you planning on doing, what the client wants, and what you're planning on doing with that set as to which product you will use. So you need to make that decision. You need to get all the information and then make the decision what you would like to do moving forward. Now, I sometimes have ladies that they're not particularly going any longer. We're just going over what we've already got. But I prefer to come in with the builder gel as opposed to the shaper, because it gives them that little bit more strength. If they're heavy handed, if they're people that like to garden, even though they wear gloves, I will come in with that stronger product. So you have to know your client, you have to know what's right for you. So for me, shaper is perfectly fine for me. I don't need that thicker builder gel. Even on this one here where it lifted towards the end, my natural nail is fine shape wise, so I don't need to be adding any free edge or anything to it. So I'm happy to come in with my shaper. So scrape off one side, and what I tend to do, I come in with a slip layer, and what that is I butt right up to the cuticle so that there is a thin layer there, and I just drag it over so it's a fairly thin coat that I'm coming over with, and this kind of creates a slip layer, so it basically covers the entire nail. Okay, and then I just come around and cap that free edge. So it is slightly different to when you apply your colour with shellac. When you apply your colour, you always cap your free edge first, but with this you cap your free edge at the end. Okay, so there's my slip layer. And then what you need to do is you need to look at the nail. So obviously the shape of my nail I'm actually quite happy with. If I wanted to, then I could then come back in with a slightly thicker layer, which you would then float over the areas that kind of need that little bit extra gel, just to sort of fill it out and change the shape slightly. Or if you do think, actually, do you know what, it could do with a little bit of an apex, or the apex needs moving down slightly, you can then come in. So if I just show you. Now remember, with these gels, they do move. So whatever you're doing, if you apply them too thickly, they will move. So you need to work quite quickly with them. So in some cases, you need to get them in for a quick 10-second flash cure, do what you need to do, but then always fully cure them once you've finished. You can obviously, if you are building them up quite a bit, you can, what I tend to do is do the slip layer and on all of them, and then come back over and put the product where I want to, and then I come in with a really thin detailer brush and just move the product where I need to, because the idea is you want to get this perfect or close to perfect, so that you haven't really got to do any refining afterwards. You can just come straight in then with your colour. So ideally on mine, I just tend to like to come straight in with the colour. I don't want to have to refine anything. Always remember to finish by capping that free edge, otherwise it will separate. The product will pull away from the natural nail. If you want to and you're not very confident in working quickly, you can do, as I say, a nail at a time or a couple at a time. I've got 2 lamps, but if you've only got the 1 lamp, you could do a couple of nails, pop that client's in for a flash cure while you do 2 of the nails on the other hand, and then when that one's in for a flash cure, you can then work the next 2 nails, flash cure, other hand, flash cure, and then once you've done it, it needs to go in for the full cure. You're only flash curing it to stop the product from moving. So this one I will work on in a moment, but I just want to get the product on my thumb. So when I'm doing my own, I'm using my little finger as a support here. Okay, and then you come around and cap it. And then obviously you can check. So with this one, because as I say, I did lose a bit of it, I am just going to pop a little bit more here. But again, I'm checking my angles, making sure that I'm happy with the appearance of it. Which I am. And then because I've worked all of these, I'm just going to go back and make sure none of the product has moved to the side. So you'll be looking down the barrel as well, making sure that there's a nice curve to all of those. So this one's just moved slightly, so I'm just going to come in and adjust that. They've been down the longest. And again, you need to make sure that before you pop it into the lamp, hopefully you shouldn't have got any product on the skin, but if you have, you just come round. You can either use a cuticle stick, or I have got a brush that I sometimes dip in a bit of product just to remove it, and you want to make sure that's all off before you then go in and pop that into cure. When you do pop it into cure, you are putting it on button 2B, okay, because it is your builder. So you're coming in 2B, and that will flash for 10 seconds, and then it will be on for, it's on for a minute in total. And obviously, as I've explained in previous videos before, the purpose of the flash cure is to prevent any heat spike exothermic reaction. And all that is the product, if you build that up too thickly, or if somebody has got quite thin nails, quite sensitive sore nails, if they've been over-filed, and you build that product up too thick, what will happen is the product will build up, the heat will build up in that product, and you need to be telling the client to, if they start to feel any heat, they must take their hand out, pop it back in, take it out, pop it back in until that subsides, because you do not want them to experience a heat spike, because it isn't pleasant and it can go on to lead to reactions and things, allergic reactions and things. So that is done now. So it's up to you whether you go in and refine. And again, another question that I get asked quite a lot is, do I need to remove, so this will be like a tacky inhibition layer, do I need to remove the inhibition layer? So if you are coming straight in with a product, so you're coming in with, I don't know, let's use this one for example, say you're coming in with taffy and you're just going to go straight over. You do not need to remove that inhibition layer if you do not want to. You can, because it will be sticky, when you come in with your base coat, it will stick to it quite nicely. If you aren't putting any colour on and you're coming in with your protector top coat, which is something that you would have to do, you wouldn't use your Duraforce or any of your other top coats if you were keeping these as they are. You need to come in with your protector top coat. Again, you don't need to remove that inhibition layer. If, however, you want to refine any of the product, then you do need to remove the inhibition layer, because otherwise it will be on your nail file. So you would need your disperse, and again, you just need to come over and remove it, and that will remove that inhibition layer. So then if you want to come in and do any refining, you can. And it's not going to go on your nail file. So I sometimes like to come in and just touch up these side bits here to make sure that there's nothing there. You've not got any on your skin or anything like that. So they're nice and smooth. So any of them that you want to refine, you can then come in and do your refining before you go in with your chosen polish. Okay guys, something else that I just wanted to touch on. It's a question that I get asked quite a lot in regards to when you've used a system, do you have to use the same brand to come in with the colour, or can you come in with another brand? Okay, so the answer to that question is this process here is one process, it's one step. Okay, so when you've applied your bonder and your builder gel or your shaper, once you have cured that step is final, it's done, it's hard. Okay, you, as I say, you can come in and you can refine. So I've refined over these ones quickly, so the shines come off that, or you can just leave it shiny and then come straight in with your colour. So you don't have to, if there's a colour you prefer in a different brand that you've got, once you've done this and this step is complete, it's a bit like if you were to apply acrylic. You could apply acrylic in, say, like a cover pink, and once you finish, you don't then have to come back in with that same brand in, you know, the gel polish or whatever. You could choose any gel polish. Once it's hard and it's done, that step is complete. So you can then come in with whichever brand you want. It doesn't have to be the shellac over the top, because you've used the Plexigel underneath it. Okay, the same as if you decide to use the Natural Build in the Glossify range, which is their builder gel range. You don't then have to use their Glossify colour over the top. Once that is set and done, you could then come in with your CND colour. The only thing you need to be mindful of is if you do that. So when I do this set, I am actually going to be using my Glossify colours over the top in the gel polish. The only thing you need to be mindful of is if you are going to use a different brand over the top of what you've created, you do not use a different lamp for the different product. So I would not use my Glossify product and cure it in my CND lamp, because it was not made, it wasn't designed to be cured with that lamp. You would come in with the lamp that is specific to the product you're using. Okay guys, so that is something that does get asked quite a lot as well. I think I've covered everything in terms of like troubleshooting and things that people have asked, questions that I've had over a period of time. So I've kind of tried to cover all of those things and give you a demonstration to sort of help you guys with all of that. If there are any other questions and you're unsure or you'd like some advice or some help, please guys feel free to send me a message, either on here or on my Instagram in my DMs, and I'll be happy to get back to you and happy to help you. And as I've said, keep your eye out for my courses when I do drop them. If you do want to be added to my mailing list, let me know, give me your email and I'll pop you on and let you know as soon as I get them courses accredited. And I will be at some stage in the next few months setting up a private Facebook group as well. And the purpose of that is to basically build a community for people that are learning of all stages, whether you're just starting, whether you're really experienced, whether you trained years ago and stopped to have a family and then came back to doing nails. The idea is to create a community where, you know, no question is too silly, and we can speak freely without feeling that we're going to be judged. We can ask any questions. I know there are other groups like this out there, but I want to create my own community of people that I can really support and help you along your journey and give you as much free information as I possibly can to help you. And then if you do want to then take it one step further and train with me and learn with me, then you can obviously opt in to do some of the paid courses and things that I'm going to be doing. I will in the near future be running some free challenges and things as well. So I've got quite a lot of exciting things in the pipeline ready to go, guys. So do keep your eye out for that. And any questions, if you want to be added to any of these mailing lists, drop me your email, send me a message and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, if you found it helpful, please give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a share, and do follow me over on my Instagram and my Facebook. It's Nails by Charl. I've had to change my Instagram to .eds, but you get the gist. Anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Bye.